Hi guys, slightly maybe a minute ahead, but we thought we just start on this horribly rainy day. Hopefully, you're sitting at home and in a cozy blanket, prepared to start with infrastructure as code. We are here we go in week 2 of our cloud native applications course. I think last week went pretty well. Hopefully, everyone got access to CS Cloud. This was our kind of main goal. If you, for some reason, still haven't managed to register, but you think you should be registered or you didn't get your secrets in your repository, please contact any of us in the common chat on Slack, and we will solve it. I think there are some last minute people who want to get dispense for API. So, but this is really time to start working. Hopefully, those of you who are on time successfully completed the first exercises. How was it at the workshop last week, Diego? Was it many people?
Yeah, it went quite well. So there was nobody blocked. So I think that a group of students did good progress. So they finished almost everything at the same time as I did. And after the workshop, there were a couple of questions about a problem in one of the commands, and it was something that I was not experiencing because it it referred to the latest version, and I had installed the last year's version. I did not do a fresh install of all my software, which did not have that problem. So Matt helped to solve it, and then beyond that, this was on Thursday. So I think that after Thursday, there has not been any question. So
Yeah, I also think it was been strangely quiet. So like, but if you have done this, so don't wait and go ahead. It's also totally okay to kind of start looking at assignment 1. There is quite a lot of writing. I know much you like writing. Everyone always goes like, love the assignment, but the report was hard, like in the README. So time to start on the report. So like for instance, this week, you should, by the end of this week, you should be able to answer this part, and kind of start looking forward, right? So look at it in week 3. So next week we will also have activitetskontroll, so like activity control. This is because, again, this course is pretty intensive on the resources. We have to help you kind of along the way, plus that it ends with the group project. So we need you to be active, or we want you to kind of drop out of the course. So next week there will be this control. I think you guys are pretty used to it. In many other courses, that's also the case. So there will be 2 ways to get through that control. Either you push something, whatever, to the README of the assignment 1. Basically be active on your GitLab, or there will be a my Moodle questionnaire that you fill in and say, yes, I am here. So we know that you are actively taking part of the course and still kind of on board with the pace. So don't miss it next week. I'll probably also remind you the next stand-up and on Slack. But yeah, this is what I got from Mats today to remind you. We checked that assignment 1 works as it should, so there shouldn't be any problems. Today we also have during the workshop there will be teaching assistants here in Kalmar that will be also going through it, making sure that everything works, and they will be hopefully ready to answer your questions, like if you have any. I think you guys did really well with asking questions in Slack last week. So important that they are. I think there were a couple of people that wrote to me, and I'm like, no, public, because some of us know some things better than others. There are a lot of instructors, there are a lot of students. So just keep it there, and you'll have better luck with getting an answer. Right. If we then go ahead, this week we do, already said that, I guess, infrastructure as code, right? How would you quickly introduce the scope, Diego? Do you want to just go with your presentation?
Yeah, I can present the goal for the week. Yeah, it will be the first week on the infrastructure as code, which is a more reliable way of handling the cloud resources. So the goal of this week will be to mainly the practical goal to achieve the same that we achieved last week, command after command, and crossing the fingers so hoping that the names were not duplicated and these kind of issues so conditional situations, and yeah, we will use a tool that handles these uh, difficulties, these complications for us. So do you want me to start sharing the screen?
Yeah, you can prepare
Okay,
for now.
there I go.
Yeah, so this will be the materials on the course page. I added just a short video, and it is like some people like videos, some people have a hard time finding them. I like conceptual videos in English, so that's why I'm adding them. And I think I will for the other parts of the course I will record some more things. But it was like there is no hard requirements that you should watch something, but it is strongly suggested that you do this now. Again, this exercise this week that will help you with the assignment one. Then one thing I want to say, this is a pretty important part of the course, infrastructure. We want you to really understand how infrastructure as code works and what it is. But in the probably in the group project and in the future part of the course, you're likely not going to write it yourself, but you will see it. So like we will probably provide you with the scripts, and you will often see it in your job later on as well. So it's important to get this week covered, and then this and next week, even though you might feel like, why should I do this? I am not a DevOps engineer or whatever. There were some comments like that. So like, let's go then. I'm putting you here. So you can go presentation mode, or maybe it doesn't work.
Yes, I go
Yeah.
to but once I go to presentation mode, I don't see
All right.
don't see us or anything else. So I wanted to wait until the last moment. So we this week and next week we will work on automated provisioning and configuration. So last week we interacted with the cloud and we provisioned resources and we configured a very simple application. And this week and next we will do it with the help of tools that make it automatically. So this help of these tools that help us to provision and configure our applications, get some input on how to what should they do, and this input is good if it is in text, so clean plain text, because then this can be part of our application and we can commit and push it to our repositories. If they are binary files, it's a bit more complicated. But then if we have text files that define our infrastructure according to how some tool interprets it, it's called, we have the infrastructure as code. So in the theory part of this week, you should understand the benefits of automating the deployment and management of computing infrastructure. If during the last week you were trying to make some kind of a script with the OpenStack commands to avoid going one after one after the other on the terminal, then you will also have in mind some benefits of of having this automatic, because you will have found several conditions, like with your command tries to create a security group that already exists, a security group with that name, then the command, then we cannot add rules because it does not find, it says that there are two security groups with that name, and this type of things. So if depending on if last week you try to make it as automatic as possible, you are already quite you will see you have in mind already the benefits of that. But we still have some readings and videos for getting more on the theory. And in the practice, we will get familiarity with a tool that makes this task, so that automates and manages the creation of the computing infrastructure. So some sub goals for the theory: you should know what is infrastructure as code, and you should read motivations and maybe hopefully believe it, so that this it brings benefits. Using infrastructure as code brings benefits over writing the commands manually or configuring manually your servers. Then you should learn a couple of languages or type of languages for writing the code that defines the infrastructure, so infrastructure as code, and some properties that this code should have, the code and the tool that interprets it together. So for instance, one of the properties is the idempotency. To learn this theory, here you have some resources for the description of what infrastructure as code is, motivation and benefits. I put three links, one to Martin Fowler blogs. Martin Fowler is a big name in this area. So it's good that you read this page, and then the description of infrastructure as code of two companies, the Red Hat and Microsoft. You will see that there are big overlaps between the three descriptions. They don't say completely different things. So after reading one or the second, you could feel that the third one is quite redundant. And some other resources. Back in time, we had a course that focused on this infrastructure as code. So here we are going to, in this course, we are going to spend 2 weeks on that, but the previous course spent much more time. And there were some videos available to the students, and they are in YouTube. They are in Swedish, so these videos are for you. You cannot ask me you cannot ask me much about what they said in some concrete minute. I know that they explain a book, and I have the book. So if you have some doubt with the videos, then we refer to the book chapters and we discuss them. And if possible, the primary source would be that book. So if you get the book, better. You read so better, the best. Chapters 1 to 5 would be great. And there is also a podcast of the book author, so that he explains things about the book and his perspective. So here you have several resources for the theory part. You have the whole week for reading this. For 1 o'clock for this afternoon workshop, it would be nice if you have read the first one, at least, so you know something about infrastructure as code and why it can be good to do what we are going to spend 2 hours doing. So to arrive a bit motivated, no? What we are doing is important. Anyhow, I will motivate. I will do my best to motivate as well in the beginning of the workshop. And regarding the practice, we will use a tool. Well, you can choose among two tools, OpenTofu and Terraform. So one is a fork of the other. A couple of years ago, OpenTofu did not exist, but for some license issues with Terraform, they created a branch. They forked the project, and now there are two tools that, for our purposes in this course, they work identically. So feel free to install one or the other. But it's important that you arrive to the workshop at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, no, quarter past one, with the one of these tools installed. These are they are easy to install. So among all the software packages that we have that we will use in this part of the course, this is the easiest. So no, I have not heard about problems installing it. Last week we had some problems with OpenStack. Maybe next week we will have some problems with Ansible for the Windows machines. But this week is the calm one. So please arrive to the workshop with the tool installed. Install one of them if you want both. So, and we will take our first steps during the workshop this afternoon. So we'll get started and we will create our infrastructure as code. You will see that what we will create will be a set of files that have the extension TF, and they are text files. So it will be code, declarative code, where we will specify the infrastructure that we want. So that we will specify that we want a router, that we want a network, we want a subnet, some virtual machines, some security groups, very similar to what we did. So the resources that we will create are the same as we did last week, directly with the OpenStack commands. So for creating these Terraform files, the first part will be to allow Terraform or OpenTofu to interact with an OpenStack cloud, because these tools can interact with many cloud providers like Amazon, Azure, etc. And we will see how to configure to make it work with OpenStack. It's mainly this is taking the code from the specification on this link and pasting. And then we will pay special attention not to put our passwords there. So this we will put special attention, and then we will repeat it again, because in the assignment, if the password appears in your in your repository in plain text, this is to go to the retake. So don't push secrets to the repository, and then we will see how to configure this without writing the password in plain text. So, and after that, we will create the resources. So, as I said, we will create the network, the piece of code for specifying the network resource, the piece of code to specify the subnet resource, the server instance, floating IP, security groups, etc. All that we created last week as well. Yeah. So, goal to obtain the same infrastructure as we did last week, add command after command, but with a single command. So we'll write the infrastructure as code, and then we will be able to do the Terraform or Tofu apply. And we are expected to pass from having nothing in our cloud. So it's our CS cloud account is completely empty, to have everything running. So having everything provisioned, the instance deployed, and our server configured. So we will do that today in the workshop at 1:15. Important, come to the arrive at 1:15 with the tool installed already on your computer, and read the first part of at least the first link of benefit and motivations. So then it will be more lightweight, or you will feel happier during the workshop because you may feel that you are doing something interesting, important. Yeah, on this part I will repeat this afternoon, depending on how depending
Yeah.
on how it goes. Maybe if everybody finishes as last week, we don't need this. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the web you have also there interesting links that you can read during the week about infrastructure as code that I didn't put on the previous slides because I wanted to keep all the links about the theory on a single slide. Yeah, that's all.
Cool. We have some questions as well. We can take this one.
Okay.
I talked about assignment, right? And it starts, assignment 1 has the theoretical part and the practical part. And yeah, you can do basically 2 of the questions after today's week. You can even look at the questions in the report when you read your literature for this week and see if you can reason about it, if you can ask it. And after today's workshop, you can already kind of start on the practical part for automatic server configuration. You should be able to understand what this TF files are all about, and kind of start asking questions of how can my deployment script can look like for the assignment. So and you will have extra help desk times, right, Diego? Again, like Monday, was it? Yeah.
Yes. If by Friday there are people who are blocked, like heavily blocked, that they have not been able to create their first network or router with Terraform, then connect on Monday and we will solve the problems specifically so it's like office time. I don't have anything else to present, just unblock students so they don't miss the thread for next Wednesday. They lose the thread.
Yeah, then there's the first chapter of the book. So I think it was you meant to read at least the first article on your list before the workshop, but you have several hours until then, so go ahead, read.
Book as much as they want. So I put from chapters 1 to 5 because the more they know, the better for themselves as well. If reading the first one they don't feel motivated yet, then read the second.
Yeah, basically it's just good to understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, so you don't have to spend time on that the workshop. But it is, if you didn't manage to read, it's still better to show up for the workshop and do it.
Yeah.
And another question is like if we should remove everything on the cloud, like you said, that it should be empty. But
it doesn't matter if there is something else. I wanted to, with this expression from a clean account, I wanted to say that we can create everything new. But if there are other servers around, it's okay.
It's the whole point that you can maintain these files without messing up like other things that you have. So you don't have to remove anything. Yeah, I don't think there are any more questions in Slack. So I think we just go ahead. We'll see you at 1:15, right?
I say this expression trying to like something positive. Like we don't need preparation in our cloud. We can do everything from our infrastructure as code.
From scratch,
as code. No, that's something negative. Like, oh, now I have to clean everything from my cloud. This work.
No. No, exactly. Yeah, so come at 1:15. I'm gonna run for my meeting now, and yeah, have fun with the infrastructure code, and let us know if you have any problems. Thank you, Diego, for the introduction.
No. Back to you.
Right. Yeah. Outro now.